My name is Tony, and I promised myself I wouldn't do this again. Do what again? Make another video about Doctor Who, that's what. After disassociating myself with the show, I consigned it to my now exponentially straining at the seams childhood mind palace, where reside the things once much beloved that are no more. I thought, another one for the collection. Consider it gone, let it lie, move on. And then some things of note happened, and I have broken my promise, which was only to myself, so it's not like I'm going back on my word to anyone else, just to me, and I can live with that. It isn't the first time, and it won't be the last. So what's happened? Well, I'll tell ya. Beyond the first season, I haven't watched this train wreck, dumpster fire, terminally malformed, onanistic, hideously deformed, woke ghost parody of Doctor Who in its current state of ongoing degeneration. But I have read the online reviews, clocked fan reactions, and picked up on the general trajectory of things, so I'm pretty up to date on where things stand. If I'm comprehending correctly, the current cretinous malarkey afoot here informs that William Hartnell was not the first Doctor. The Doctor is not and never was a Time Lord and was not from Gallifrey. He popped into existence as an ethnic minority female alien child of unknown origin who some scientist woman murdered over and over again just to see it regenerate, on and on. This gibbering heresy is accompanied by a plethora of other mindless canon-destroying crapola, but it's all too absurd to go into any further here. One of the things that strikes me in all this is how the nature of regeneration traditionally manifests on the show. It has always been depicted as tortuous, massively painful, and both physically and psychologically traumatizing for the Doctor. So unless I'm missing something, this wide awoke debacle divines no problem advocating inflicting such a process on a child. Multiple times. Child murder, torture, and physical and mental abuse for the sake of science and entertainment, or what passes for entertainment in Chibnall's perverse imaginings. It's a fitting metaphor for the woke philosophy. It illustrates the sheer thoughtlessness of it, an extreme measure, absurd lengths taken to willfully and completely destroy the carefully constructed basis for an iconic character and TV show cultivated over nearly 60 years. Wow! I mean, just wow! I don't think I've ever encountered such a devastating scorched earth policy in popular entertainment before. I take my hat off to Chibnall, or would if I owned a hat, because when he hates on something, the gloves really do come off, and he goes straight for the vital organs. No pretext, no messing, just sheer, unrestrained, single-minded pop cultural butchery. What a supremely savage mind. Well done, sir. They could have used you in the Third Reich. The New Year's Day special this year, or last year as it is now, scored the worst ratings of any Who festive special ever. I'm not normally a conspiracy theorist, it's not my standard modus, you know, but I think it was a deliberate aim on the part of Chibnall and the BBC. One more step towards the ultimate obliteration of the show. It's an elaborate and expensive way overall to cancel something, and does give pause for reflection as to why the BBC didn't simply say, after Capaldi's departure, we're not making any more Doctor Who, it's over, and stop right there. Why hang, draw, quarter and parade the corpse around the world whilst ritually defiling it in public on the way? Why not make it quick, clean, finito? Leave those who care about it with their fond memories. Ah, is that what it is? Not good enough, eh? You see, sometimes it's not enough to simply end something. Not when there are points to be made and scored and lessons to be given and learned. The once vibrant Doctor Who fandom are the unfortunate victims this time around. In long ago times, the mutilated bodies of wrongdoers and undesirables were hung on public display, where they rotted in cages or on the end of ropes, because sometimes, it's not enough to just kill and bury something. Sometimes you need to craft a reminder that this is what happens when you don't conform to a new order. This is where it leads when what you support and enjoy doesn't fit with a new vision. You don't have the power, you don't have the control, you're nothing, and we're going to make damn sure you know it and don't forget it. And for added emphasis, we'll drag it out. Make it as painful, protracted as possible. Ice the shit cake with a mega frosting of gaslighting to boot. Tell the fans that if they don't like it, it's their fault for being who they are. Are they making an example of Doctor Who and the fandom, maybe? Feels like it. So the New Year's Day special has tanked. They brought in a laughable-looking version of the Daleks and reprised Captain Jack, clearly an aging immortal now, and it bombed. But then, surely by now, they must have known it would. Jo Dorella Shitkicker is off the pastures new, leaving the role. I wonder what part she'll take on and vandalise beyond all recognition next. Del Boy, perhaps, Captain Mainwaring, Basil Fawlty, Inspector Morse, Sherlock Holmes, but Chibnall is to remain as showrunner. Yeah, no, what the fuck? Unbelievably, there's going to be one more season with Joe Dorella, but this is probably due to contractual obligations. It will be shorter than the others, 8 episodes apparently, but that's still 8 way too many. Personally, I was never opposed to a female Doctor. I thought it a tremendous opportunity to broaden the show's appeal and do some interesting, creative and witty things with sexual and identity politics. Not for one moment did I imagine it would be used as a clumsy, ham-fisted shitstick to beat all white males with, and systematically alienate the fandom. I imagine greater inclusivity, if anything. Can you believe that? How fucking naive was I? What the fuck was I thinking? Or drinking? Scouse comedian John Bishop is being shoehorned in as a new companion, but I imagine he's going to be little more than a stereotypical dumb white male stooge for Jazz and Joe Dorella to dominate, boss and generally piss over. More mean-spirited pseudo-feminism that won't do anyone any favours in the scheme of things. Bishop's character will be called Dan. There will be a joke about desperation in there somewhere. Can't you see the situation is desperate, Dan? Something along those lines. Boys from the Black Stuff, anyone? And there's talk, speculation, rumour and conjecture about who will succeed Joe Dorella, as if it matters, as if her next season won't be the last. It makes no difference if Kevin Spacey or Jimmy Krankie is up for the role. Surely this has to be done now. Sure, the ratings could get lower. Yes, the character of the Doctor could turn out to be God, a natural progression from the timeless toddler. Yeah, the chameleon surrogate for the TARDIS could get fixed and the police box take the form of a massive jackrabbit dildo. But let's be honest, it doesn't really need any further insult and indignity chum-ladled over it. It's dead. Let it be, for crying out loud. Finally, changing topic slightly, how unimaginably hilarious is it to see that the current movie exemplar of politically incorrect evil, obscenity and provoker of offence, targeted by the snowflake wokeflake contingent, is a 1978 screen version of a stage musical set in 1958. Yes, a Yank fantasy high school flick, featuring the oldest teenagers ever seen on screen, must now be cancelled out of existence. Grease is the word that should never be heard. Now me, I hate musicals, my least favourite movie genre. I hate it, for instance, when someone walking along sees a tree, which is their cue to burst into song, backed by an invisible 50-piece symphony orchestra. I talk to the trees, that's why they put me away. And we're expected to accept it as though it's the most natural thing in the world. Well, it's fucking not. I just can't bear it. However, millions love this stuff, so good for them, say I. Knock yourselves out. But now, Grease is clearly rapey, slut-shaming, sexist and racist. My God, surely none of those malignant social elements would have ever been around in 1958? In America? Perish the thought. One song lyric poses the question, did she put up a fight? Yep, well, probably. They didn't have Rohypnol back then. One girl, she's pushing 40, sleeps around and is labelled a slut. Yet she points out, there are worse things I could do than sleep with a boy or two. To right there is, sweet cheeks. You could be in Doctor Who. A TV presenter tries to get off with a 30-year-old teenager. What a pedo. Sandy sluts up to bag her man. Like women shouldn't need to change who they are for the sake of some twisted male fantasy, you patriarchal bastards. But she doesn't really. She just changes her clothes and unleashes her inner dominatrix. However, even that key scene where Newton-John slams a car door on Travolta's boner is not enough of a feminist revenge message to save it. Because there are no black or Chinese students at Rydell High. The exclusionist motherfuckers in 1958 in America, for Christ's sake. I don't like Grease, so I truly understand people not liking it. On the other hand, I understand people who do like it, and I'm more than happy for them to continue to do so. Know what I do if there's a movie I don't like or if it offends me in some way? I don't fucking watch it. Freedom of choice, people, it's a beautiful fucking thing. Some advice for the flakers. Take control of your own lives instead of trying to control the lives of others. Trust me, it will pay dividends in the end. Thanks as always for watching and listening. If you feel so inclined, hit like and or subscribe. Or don't. I don't much care about such things. Meanwhile, here's a song called Acid Bath. It was written for the mandolin. Seriously. I talk to the trees. There's a light shining through the trees, missing me by miles. It's a neon pool of hungry stars with 1,000 smiles. The vertigo that belts me in the head, predicting I could drop down dead. But honestly, I won't be playing ball. Take one for the team, or take a fall. I'm leaving here today. Don't that make you laugh? It isn't me they mean when they say, who's up next for the acid bath? Got a break coming for you now. It will take you there. Knuckle down and milk the cow in your finest underwear. Social media trends you to the world. Status as the latest poster girl. Feminist empowerment your thing, or another naked puppet on a string. I'm leaving here today. Don't that make you laugh? It isn't me they mean when they say, who's up next for the acid bath? Who's up next for the acid bath? Who's up next for the acid bath?